Moving on, Israel issued the evacuation order for the areas of Khan Yunis and Rafah, which the United Nations has stamped as the largest such edict in the Gaza Strip, since 1.1 million people were told to leave the north of the enclave in October. UN spokesman Stephen Dujarric said an evacuation of such a massive scale will only heighten the suffering of the civilians.
Yesterday, orders for evacuation of 117 square kilometers in Khan Yunis and Rafah governorates applied to about a third of the Gaza Strip, making it the largest such order since October, when residents were ordered to evacuate northern Gaza. OCHA underscores that an evacuation of such a massive scale will only heighten the suffering of civilians and drive humanitarian needs even higher. People are left with the impossible choice of having to relocate, some most likely for the second or even the third time, to areas that have barely any space or services, or stay in an area where they know the fighting will take place. Initial estimates by UNRWA indicates that nearly 250,000 people may have resided in the areas that are subject to the evacuation at the time the order was given.
Well, Tel Aviv has said that its campaign in Gaza was a long campaign through which Israel will accomplish its missions. The statement came when Israeli military chief of staff Herzi Halevi visited the Kerem Shalom and an advanced logistics center established in the Gaza Strip. Halevi said that 900 Hamas terrorists have been killed by Israeli forces in the Rafah brigade, and the current effort was focused on destroying terrorist underground infrastructure, which takes time. Israeli forces bombarded several areas of the southern Gaza Strip on Tuesday in what could be part of a final push for Israel's intensive military operations in 9 months of conflict.
The current effort and the reason we are working here week after week is now focused on the destruction of the terrorist infrastructure and the destruction of the underground infrastructure, which takes time. Therefore, this is a long campaign because we do not want to leave Rafah with the infrastructure intact.
And amid the Israel-Gaza conflict, misery continues for the affected. Freed hostage Noa Argamani attended her mother's funeral on Tuesday, less than a month after her rescue from Gaza. Argamani's terminally ill mother, Leora, had been hospitalized and was waiting for her daughter's return in hope to see her. Hours after her release, Argamani was able to see her mother, who was in a hospital in Tel Aviv, and was able to communicate with her mother, and she understood that her daughter had come home. Argamani was rescued on June 8th along with 3 other hostages in an operation by Israeli special forces from an apartment building in central Gaza.